Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. This is a brand new series of videos which I'm starting today called Garrisons 101. And in this series of videos I am going to go through the various buildings which you can construct in your garrison and give you the perks of them in depth. That way, hopefully, you'll be able to make a decision which building is right for you when it comes to the release of Warlords of Draenor. Now, there are three various types of building. There are large buildings, medium buildings, and small buildings. I'm going to start off today by looking at the smaller buildings, and more specifically, the profession buildings. This includes the Alchemy Lab, Enchanter's Study, Engineering Works, Gem Boutique, the Scribe's Quarters, the Tailoring Emporium, the Forge, and the Tannery. The Salvage Yard and the Storehouse are different, and I'll look at those in another future video. On the live servers, the two professions which I currently have are jewel crafting and enchanting. And it would be very easy to fall into a trap here and actually construct the two buildings of the professions that I have. Create an enchanter's study and also to create a gem boutique. The thing is though, I can easily gain access to my trainer through my capital city in Warlords of Draenor. What would be a lot more productive is if I actually constructed a profession building that would be different to what I have, but actually complement the class which I play. As a warlock, let's look at some other profession buildings which I may find of an interest, and immediately one that jumps out is the Tailoring Emporium. Even though I don't have this as a main profession, if I was to drag that into my garrison, I would gain limited access to what a tailor can do. i.e., I can now construct and craft myself clothing with which to wear. And it doesn't just help me level up from 90 to 100, this also continues to maximum level. So here we go, this is your typical level 1 profession building. And you'll find that there'll always be a quest waiting for you when you construct it. It doesn't matter if the profession is your primary profession or one that you don't have access to. The quest is absolutely vital because it'll open something called work orders. And work orders will allow you to create the regent necessary for that specific profession. So in this case, hex weave cloth, which you need to construct clothing in tailoring. When you accept the quest, it will be the assistant that deals with all the menial work. You talk to her or him and then place the work order with them. But to do so, you need a further regent. In this case, it's sumptuous fur, but it can change. Jewel crafting, for example, you might need some black rock ore, or you might need access to some herbs. Don't get panicky that you have to do everything around Draenor though to collect these regents, because access to herbs and access to ore can also be done through your garrison, and again, this will be covered in a future video. Once you've acquired the specific regent that's necessary for that profession, you can then go to the assistant and place your work order. A work order will take 24 hours to complete from the moment that you place it. And there is a way of tracking to see how long you've got left. On your minimap, there'll be a garrison tab. Click the Garrison tab and it'll bring up the report. You'll notice the Tailoring Emporium and also the Gem Boutique. Underneath those, we'll have the time remaining of the work order. Thankfully on beta though, a work order seems to go past in a blink of an eye. Once it's completed, it will always be ready outside the front of the profession building. Right click to pick it up and then hand it in to the tailor's assistant or whichever profession building you have constructed. When it's handed in, you gain yourself the regents. When your first work order has been completed, you'll get a second quest to place a secondary work order. But after that's been done, then everything is fair game and you can gain access to all the abilities here in the building. But notice how certain things are restricted. For instance, I can't use hexweave embroidery until my tailoring building has been upgraded to level 2. Other stuff though is available straight away. This sumptuous cowl I can make if I got myself some sumptuous fur. Item level 570, I will gain some random enchantments and it will be pretty good for helping me level up. Certain other ones though have lower item levels, and you'll notice because tailoring isn't my primary profession, I am restricted to only taking 3 of these crafted items. If it was my primary profession, I could make and equip as many as possible. But to advance what you can do in that profession building, you need to upgrade it. To upgrade it, you need the respective blueprint, and this blueprint can be gained pretty easily through questing and leveling up. Once you can upgrade the building, it comes at a cost. In this case, 150 garrison resources, 300 gold, and an hour of your time. It's not just an aesthetic change either to the building, it also unlocks further abilities for your use. So in this case, followers that have that profession's trait can now work in the building, granting a unique bonus. And it will also allow up to 3 work orders at once, which means quicker and more regents. Sadly, I don't appear to have any followers that have the necessary trait to work within my tailoring emporium. However, when I click onto my gem boutique, we'll notice that I do actually have access to a follower from there. So I can drag them into the gem boutique and they will now work inside of it, granting me a unique bonus. The follower that you placed in the profession building will physically be there when you go to it too. But if you speak to the assistant who deals with all the work orders, when you click onto a work order, you'll notice that my follower's bonus ability has now been activated, and it will be activated dependent on whatever profession building you have decided to select. So here is your level 2 profession building, aesthetically looking rather nicer than its first incarnation, but more importantly allowing further access. Work shipments have moved from 1 to 3, allowing more regents, and also I've now got access in the tailoring one to the hexweave embroidery, which was locked off to me previous. This is quite important. Because tailoring is not a primary profession, I have access to something that can re-roll the secondary stats of tailoring armour that is item level 640 or above, which allows me to be very specific with my stats to hopefully align them with my class's mastery. To push your building to the 3rd and final level though, you have to go slightly above and beyond, and complete a very specific set of criteria for an achievement. The profession buildings though have a very easy one, and it's called working more orders. To complete this achievement, you simply have to fulfill 75 work orders. Now if you've got one profession building at level 2, it's going to take approximately a month or so. But if you have 2 profession buildings at level 2, suddenly that 1 month has been cut in half. It's about 2 weeks. But if you've got a 3rd profession building, then suddenly that 2 weeks becomes just over a week. It's something that can be obtained really quickly. And when of course it is obtained, not only do you gain the level 3 blueprint for your first building, but you get it for your 2nd profession building and 3rd profession building, dependent on how many you have. And in true fashion, here's one I made earlier. Here is your level 3 profession building. We now have a little extension that's been placed on the side. We also have some cloth out on display in the front, but again, it's the benefits that this provide. The work orders can come flooding in, allowing us to gain loads of different regents for crafting. And when we speak to the tailor, it's unlocked the juicy goodies as well. I can now start to craft the 640 item level epic hex weave gear. Even though this isn't my primary profession, I can still equip 3 of these amazing pieces of armour. And on top of that, they are also bind on equip and can be usable at level 91. So if I were to be that way inclined, I could either put them onto the auction house and make myself a fair bit of profit, no doubt, or I could send them off to alt characters, my mage, my priest, and it will substantially aid them in the leveling up process. So there we go, that is profession buildings within your garrison, and it seems as if they'll work very well indeed if you select professions which you currently do not have as your primary, and instead use professions that you don't use at the moment to work in synergy with either your class or potentially your bank account too. They are definitely excellent additions to the garrison, and with 3 small garrison plots available, how many profession buildings will you actually plant? Remember, we've still got the storehouse and also the salvage yard to look at as well in a future video. But there we go. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I hope you enjoyed the vid. Please do give it a thumbs up if you did, and also subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and also twitch.tv/HeelvsBabyface for live Warlords of Draenor beta streaming, and I shall be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.